Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Intellectual stew.
informative and inspirational. How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual stew with James. Intellect.
What's up, everyone? Let's who's in the chat? Let's have a little dialogue. Who's with me tonight? Who say hello if you're here? My Monday Night Live crew is on the way. Ashley is got off work a little late, so she has to make an hour and a half commute every week. So every day. So she'll be here momentarily. Lady Karen is finishing up her own show, so she'll be on in just a moment. And I think Kamira Lewis will be hanging out with us again tonight. But you got me now. You got me, and I got you, and we have each other, and that's enough. That's enough to get started. Hey, what's up? Yeah, you already got the link in your email, Kim. Go ahead and grab it. Hey, Jackie Wilson, Little Rock, Arkansas in the house. What's going on, Little Rock, Arkansas in the house? That's my home town. Well, actually, I'm from the north side for life. I don't know how to do the little sign, but I'm north side for life. North side. When graduate last graduating class of North Little Rock, Old Main, long before it was North Little Rock High. So what's up? What's up? How was your day? It's another Tuesday. It's a good day. Weather has been crazy here in Atlanta. I think it was in the 30s or 40s yesterday, and we were somewhere around 70 today. I think before it's all over, we're gonna all have pneumonia or something similar. So y'all better layer up. My daddy used to teach me to wear a t-shirt all year long, even when it's 90 degrees outside. He always taught me to layer up. So y'all make sure you do that with all of this crazy weather that's going on. All of y'all that are in the chat right now, do me two favors. First of all, say hello so I know you're there. And then number two, share this thread. Go ahead and share this thread so that we can get some more people involved in this conversation tonight. We're gonna have what I call a stew study. the intellectual stew study. You know, some people have case studies, but we're gonna have a stew study, right? We're gonna try to take an intellectual approach. You know, one thing I don't do and I will not tolerate is arguing and going back and forth and pointing the finger and all that kind of stuff. You know, because what I want to do is I want to have productive conversations. You know, because let me say this. Let me drop this on. Let me give you this because what I think a lot of times we fail to realize we think people think like us, and women, let me tell you, men don't think like you. So the thought that you thought you had and you're mad because he didn't think like you, it's because we're men. And men and women don't think alike. You know, I mean, if we did, we would be women. You know, and we're not women, we're men. And you ought to be happy about that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I thought about you, thought like you, then I'd be a woman, and then you would be with a woman. So you know, so let's learn how not to be upset because a person didn't think like you. Another thing is, let's learn how to give somebody a margin for error. You know what I'm saying? All of us. Hey, Lady Karen is here. Let me get Lady K in here. I'm sitting up here rambling, trying to get folk in. Oh shoot, here come Kamira too. That Lady K. What's up, Lady K?
Hey, hey, Ray, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. You hear me in here? Well, I wasn't fussing. I was empowering. So let me get Kamira in here too. What's up, Kamira?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, hey, hi, Kamira.
How you
Kamira got
doing,
your
Miss
ponytail in
Lady
tonight. I
K?
see you, girl.
Yeah.
You got your ponytail in and things. I see you, girl. Hey, did y'all hear what I just said?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, I was, and Kim, I want you to hear this too. You know, so many times there's a loss of communication between the male and the female species, right? You know, we say one thing, you hear something else, you say something, we hear something else, and that's okay because we're different. You know what I'm saying? Because if I thought like you, Kim, if I thought like you, Lady K, I would be a woman, and I'm not a woman. I'm a man. So I really wish we could get to the point where we started giving people a margin for error simply because why would you disappoint yourself over and over again because a man didn't think the way you
right,
thought? And he's a
right,
man.
right. I
Does
agree
that
with
make
you.
does that make any sense at all? You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because you know, I've been really getting on people here. Like, we're not getting on people, but I really try to have these thoughts. You know, and one thought that I think Lady K, you and I talked about this the other day off air. But you know, you see so many people who debate over opinions. You know what I'm saying? Why would I debate you about an opinion? You can think how you want to think,
right.
and I can think how I want to think, and we can coexist cordially. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm rambling. Lady K, yeah,
No,
say hi to the people. I'm not Lady K. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Let me stop.
Hey, everybody. Glad to see you all this Tuesday night. Hope you had a great day.
Camille, you get the dog's food.
yeah, I got that food, but I'm about to put them on the back of a milk carton.
He left. Well, you need some money because the food's that much.
No, their dog food costs like $66 a bag.
$66 a bag.
Yeah,
You got two dogs?
I have one of my own, which is
Okay.
a German Shepherd.
The killer.
I am the killer. Now
Yeah.
his, and then I have my daughter's two while she's in school.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
sign up for the two extra dogs
You didn't sign up for it, but you understood the
at
assignment.
all.
So you know the baby doing what the baby's doing, so you're gonna help her get through what she's going through though, right?
That's it. I said, you know what? That's what we do. You at the last stretch of it. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do to help you get on through it. So
Man, hey, you are such a great mother. That's why the kids love you. They'll go to war.
Lady
They'll
K,
go to
I be
war,
wanting
but
to throw my hands up sometimes.
I
ain't nothing
feel
wrong.
you, but
You can
hey,
want to do it, but the thing is, are you gonna
don't.
do it?
Nah,
As we
I ain't.
Right,
said, as we
right.
used to say in certain parts of Arkansas, is you gonna do it? Is you gonna do
Not not gonna
it?
do it. Look, and
Not
not
gonna
gonna
do
do it.
it. I'll be spelling male, MALE, MAIL, dropping subtle hints. I'll be spelling male, MAIL, for the remainder. Don't do it. We're not doing it. Don't start no mess, Kanika. I'm gonna block you. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna do it. Hey, see, she's smart. Kanika's so smart. I have to keep up with her because her mind, uh, she reads and stuff like that. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's my friend. That's my friend, Kanika Booms. Now, I appreciate all of you all for listening. Last week, the conversation got really good. I thought, you know, we were talking about, what were we talking about last week, Kim?
Yeah, I remember when we talked about. Are they ready for this week?
I'm asking you so you can tell them what were we talking about. What were we talking about last week? Tell them what we was talking
Look,
about.
I'm ready for the sequel.
tell them what we was talking about though. Give them an update. Let them know what we talked about a little bit,
Well, it
please.
started out. Can you start? Can you move from the friend zone into the end zone?
Okay.
And we hit a lot of, 10 yards, 20 yards, they're related to you getting to the end zone.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to go into the different time?
Yeah, I want you to tell them what you remember.
Okay. We talked about how some viewers, male viewers, gave their opinion that, sometimes, the opportunity is there, they just kind of wait, or women present. Oh, what the last guy, he said that women sometimes present or give too much information and not knowing that they're giving this information, sharing this information to make a man feel like there's the potential to get into the end zone. Is he on tonight?
Who, Nicholas? No, I don't know if Ashley just got in, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring her in. Ashley, what's up? You there?
I'm here. Hey, y'all.
You still on the
Hey,
road?
Ash.
I am.
Okay. Tell Nick. I mean, if you can, tag Nicholas and let him know that we're on.
Okay.
He can jump back in, so he can clarify some of his final statements last week as we were leaving. But
Okay.
what I want to do right quick is I want to go ahead and give a good thumbnail, because I think our definition of friend zone kind of went to the left a little bit last week, because we were kind of hinging on the word zone, or hinging on the friend, and we were kind of hinging on them independent one or the other. You know what I'm saying? And I think we really need to make sure that we have a clear definition of what the friend zone is. Let me give you what I'm calling a definition of the friend zone. A friend zone is a situation in which a friendship exists between two people. Here it is. One of whom has an unreciprocated romantic or sexual interest in the other. That's the determining factor of what the friend zone is. It's a, just because somebody is your friend, don't necessarily mean you put them in the friend zone. Yeah, y'all understand what I'm saying? When you say that I'm putting you in the friend zone, you're automatically putting that boundary up, saying that I'm gonna put you over here in the deep freezer, so that way you can be preserved and you won't never spoil. We can still be cool. I got a Ziploc bag to keep you from freezer burning, right? But we gonna be cool. But that's the friend zone. Now, Kim, Lady K, Ashley, if I have a friend of the opposite sex, that's just my friend. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because last week I think we got caught up on what a real friend was versus somebody. Cause let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with moving from friendship into a relationship. Because if we're gonna be in a relationship, we should at least be friends first. Does that not come on, Lady K? Tell me if I'm right or wrong on that one.
I definitely agree. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Kim, am I saying anything wrong?
No, I totally agree.
So do y'all agree we kind of got off last week on the
Yeah.
definition? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because what'll happen is, because if someone is in the friend zone and then they cross that line, if you will, once they cross that line, then that friendship is easier to get rid of or to step away from. Somebody else talk beside me.
You said
Yeah,
it, did you just say it's easier to get rid of?
a friend zone friend, not a friend.
Mhm.
Like
Right,
if
right.
yeah. Would you agree to that? A friend zone friend? And I'm asking y'all in the chat too. If because understanding the difference, and I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna put the definition up again. Definition of a friend zone is a situation in which a friendship exists between two people, one of whom has an unreciprocated, and I don't have all the answers on this, I'm guessing too, has an unreciprocated romantic or sexual interest in the other. So, using the scenario that we used last week about the person that is supposedly in the friend zone crossing that line, and how the person who the line has been crossed for, how they would respond. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Anybody?
I I think yes, it makes sense to me. I think I was really trying to think a little deep, maybe too deep on that. But I think it depends on what happens when they cross the line. Does the
Okay.
person who has not been reciprocating the feelings, are they starting to get feelings now? Because they crossed the line and the sex was good and it opened them up to, a different area of their person, or was the sex whack, or did they still not feel any type of connection with the person? So for me, it would depend on what happened, in the crossing of the line. It's a song out, what's Jay Woods called? I think it's Jay Woods. Knee deep.
I ain't heard that
Y'all,
song.
y'all have
Nah,
heard Knee
Lord
Deep?
have
what
mercy.
was it called? Yeah, hold on. I gotta look up the.
Okay,
What's the name of the song?
okay.
Who sing it?
His name is Jay Woods or something like that, isn't it?
I know
Yeah,
that
I
song.
think
I
that
know that
is.
song.
Is it Jay
But just
Woods?
look up knee deep. That's all you got to do.
Oh Lord,
But it's
let me
it's
look.
telling basically telling a story. The song is telling this story. Now that you're saying that, and I just think it happens. Kind of depends on what happens in the sexual experience when they cross the line.
But let's
Because
say
they was.
but let's say they don't cross the line. Let's say an advance was made, right? But the advance wasn't met with the same fervor.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I shot my
Yeah.
shot, but I shot a blank.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you wasn't feeling. Let's not even Jake. Okay. Let's say we didn't even do nothing. We didn't even cross the line, right? But I shot. But Kim, me and you, we've been in the friend zone how long?
11 years.
50, 11 years. So that's 61 minus 30 plus 22
Oh my
divided by
God.
4 divided by plus 17. Okay,
Carry the
so
one.
carry the 1 and
Mhm,
then the
I
Radican of the
love it.
9. But listen,
mhm.
so all that. So we've been friends a long time, right? And all of a sudden, I say, man, Kim, I've been looking at you all these years, and Kim, you fine and things, and I want to take it to the next level. And then all of a sudden you say, boy, please. We've been friends forever. We ain't finna cross that line. Ain't no way in the world. You know my mama, you know my daddy, da da da. We can't do it. Now I gotta deal with that. Now me and Kim, we could. It's a bad example because we're friends. We're really not a friend zone type friend. We
The
just we
line was still crossed though, whether or not she decided that she was going to take you up on your offer, you still crossed the line because you tried to pursue your friend.
but let me say this though, even that's true, I get that. But the roots were deeper. The roots were a lot deeper because we got 25, 50, 11. What we say, 50, 11 plus 14 minus the
Cross
carry
the.
the 9. So we got deep roots, right?
It's
So
still
Kim,
a dub.
I wouldn't take the rejection the same as I took it from somebody else that I didn't have that type of friendship with. Kim, what
Right.
you say? What do you think?
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Thank you. That's what I be liking. Devil's advocates. You got the red suit?
We just said
Okay.
that
Mm-hmm.
the foundation of a relationship is being friends first.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you friends first and then you really one person said, now I'm just being devil's advocate,
Be yourself.
and then one person decides, you know what, I think I want to see if this goes somewhere else.
Trying to get
You
knee
know,
deep.
yeah.
Yes, sir. I gotta know how it feel. Okay, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Lady Karen, you got grandchildren. You
Ooh,
got grandchildren, Lady Karen. Now I'm just joking. I'm just
I ain't
joking.
Y'all know
Uh-huh.
I be
You know
grandchildren,
how
coming
but
to
I'm
get
straight
them
from
thinking.
kids.
my
You know
show,
how
so
to
I
get
have
them
to kind of.
kids too.
I got. I gotta calm down. I be coming straight from my show on here,
I
so I
thought I
be a
saw
little
I thought
rough.
I saw you glistening and glowing a little bit. I didn't know what y'all was talking about over there. But go
I'm
ahead.
not the
What you
Stuff.
fine Lady Karen show.
go ahead.
They be talking
Go
about stuff.
go ahead, Kim. Go ahead. So we got the foundation. Go ahead.
But that was the thing I wanted to kind of throw out there was
Yeah.
the foundation of being friends first, right? And even though the other person may not reciprocate the feelings, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they
It's
they
still there.
they they stepped out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cause I'm still checking, and I'm speaking for dudes. I wish some more dudes. I got to get more guys on this show because I need to. Is Corey and them need to know we're
Nick
on.
Nick is coming. He had some calls as well, but he said he's coming as soon as he get off the phone with his boss. You know, we be working late,
I got you. I
James.
got you. And I'm an hour ahead. I know. But ladies, y'all do me a
Corey
favor.
was right.
La-
Corey was on mine, so he might be on your show on your page. I told him to come on over here. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, ladies, do me a favor. Some of y'all tag in some of your friends. Tag some guys too, cause we want to get some
I don't know
males.
how to
Cause
do that.
when just typing. You don't
Lady
see no
K, we gonna have I'm calling you
technology. Yeah, we're gonna have a
sometime this
technology
week
session.
because I am
Okay.
going through and gonna help you out with your
Thank you for
technology.
hoping. Thank you
Oh
for
Lord,
hoping.
I love y'all. Y'all see teamwork make the dream work. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
honey, yes.
But real talk. So Kim and I probably are a bad example, okay? As far as somebody that's in the friend zone, because Kim and I have been real friends for so long. She probably would even let me down easy the way she would do it. So that wouldn't be a little bit hard.
Can I just tell you what I say?
Yeah.
Boy, please go on
Mhm.
somewhere.
And I would laugh. I would laugh at that one. I wouldn't take that personal at all. You know what I'm saying? But the wrong
It ain't
one
what I
though.
say.
But the wrong one, I ain't gonna lie. If I shoot my shot and you turn me down and I'm only in the friend zone, you can call me petty, call me what you want, but I'm out of there,
Mm,
coach. I'm out
mm,
of there.
Wow.
Because typically if we're in the friend zone, it's because because look at the definition one more time. The definition, what's up, Brandy? The definition says a situation in which a friendship exists between two people, one of whom has an unreciprocated. Now, if I take the unreciprocated out, it still says one of whom has a romantic or sexual interest in the other, right? Even though it's unreciprocated, it's still there. And so if we don't have a strong enough foundation as a friendship as a foundation, then what we hanging on to then? Because all I'm gonna do, I'm just being honest. Because I'm still digging you. I'm still gonna just be frustrated.
But
Go
but
ahead, Kim.
Mhm.
James, I have friends that
Okay.
we're still friends. Remember, I threw this out there. They shot. I let them down easy,
Uh-huh.
and we still friends. We cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Cool.
mean,
We
tell me
cool.
what does letting them down easy look like?
I just
it ain't no letting
man,
down easy.
listen. One had bought a ring that
Ooh,
yeah.
In the
I'm
friend
like,
zone buying you a ring.
I'm like,
now,
Jay, I think me and you may have talked about that maybe years ago, but he had bought a ring and had planned on he was gonna propose. I'm just like, I didn't even know we was together.
So y'all hadn't even had a
I'm
date
gonna
or
say,
nothing
how
like that.
y'all transpire with that? What
Right,
did you do to this man, honey?
right.
No kisses, no cuddles, no nothing. He just said you look like a wife, so I'm gonna marry you because
Now
You
here's
know
the thing.
what? You know
We
what? It's easy. It can happen. It can happen because people should be so. I'm not gonna say infatuated with you, but just your conversation.
yes.
Hey,
Now we had hung out, we gone out, we hung out, but I'm like, we friends, right? It's just friends. We just friends. We hung out. All that, and he it just so happened his cousin was my best friend at the time, and
uh-huh.
she gave me the heads up
That he was
what he
gonna
was planning. And I said, well, why didn't you stop him?
mm-mm.
Did you let him down? Did you let him down easy?
Yes. I had to tell him, I said, no, you know we're not like that. You know we're not like that. Now I was being very clear, but you know what?
That's a sales.
Communication.
That's a sales strategy right there, though. When you say you're not like, so you kind of playing on his mentality, you making him think a certain way. That's called group think.
That's that's
We're
coming from a salesman. Don't
okay.
do
I
it.
got you.
Don't do it.
I got you. Okay, go ahead.
But you know what? Sometimes I think too we can get the communication lost or mistranslated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We may say one thing, but they may hear something totally different. And you I think you
I just
said
told
that.
y'all that.
You just
I
said
just
that.
said it. I just told you though. I just told y'all that.
Yeah.
Just told you. Because
Not
we hear in
Kim. Not
different.
only.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. That's just hard not seeing your face.
You fine.
No, you go ahead.
I
Kim, not
know it.
only.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sweetie.
I was gonna say, Kim, not only that, sometimes even with us hanging, because this is one of the things I have to be careful of. Even when hanging, when you got and everybody on a vibe now, but when you are a person that people gravitates towards you just because of you and your personality, sometimes your personality can mimic something different that you're not necessarily trying to give off, but they take it as that, especially if they're caught up and want to be in love and junk and
That's the
stuff.
key, Ashley. That's the key word right there. The caught up part of it, because y'all don't. What's up, Dylan Winston? I'm glad. Hey, hang around for a minute, Dylan, because I'm gonna ask you a question, Dylan. Then I'm gonna make my point. Keep my thing, Kim. This is the key word to get me back to my point. Imagination. But Dylan, this is the question. If you have an interest in a woman, you shoot your shot because you think you're in the friend zone, and she turns you down. Can the friendship continue? Boom. Now let me get back to my point. All right. So sometimes because of our cognitive skills, right? Because we have the ability to imagine so much, we go through these imagination stage, right? That are somewhat sometimes borderline delusion, if you will, right? Because we start seeing
Yes.
ourselves with this individual. We start imagining what it would be like to be with that woman. I wonder what it would be like if we went out of town together, or we slept together, if we did these things together. And that imagination starts to make that thing feel real, right? And then when you finally decide to go ahead and get the courage up to shoot your shot, and then all of a sudden you find out that it's unreciprocated, unless somebody does what Kim says and says, now because it would have came out totally different had she said, boy, I ain't feeling you like that.
Mm-hmm.
But she put it on him, said, wait a minute, like, in other words, this is not the right move right here, bro. I don't know where you done came up with. Am I right, Kim?
Yes. Yeah, and
Okay.
that was the intention.
Okay.
That was definitely the intent.
Okay.
That I've been very transparent with him. I was very transparent with him, but maybe, like you said, he still had his eye on the prize. and I like to think of myself as a social butterfly.
You are.
I do.
Yes,
You are a
yes.
social butterfly.
I do. I like to think of myself as a social butterfly. I can laugh and talk. You can put me in a room with anybody, and I'm gonna laugh and talk and with any and everybody.
Mhm.
But that threw me that he thought that he was at the level that he had a ring. Yeah, no, y'all, he had a whole ring
A whole ring.
to
Come
propose.
through then, honey ring.
I never touched a man sexually. Never.
Did you ever like give him a
But you
hug
could
or
have been
kiss?
still feeding into his soul with your words.
Lady K, can you get James, please?
What I do? What I
James is
do?
just trying to make you get this man some sugar, honey.
I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what happens to a dude to make this joker go to the jewelry store and buy a whole ring.
A whole ring. A whole ring.
Had he ever been
Well,
married
he
before?
actually acted upon it.
Yeah, and you know what? It threw me, but then like later on, I was like, man, that's kind of cool. Ain't nobody ever, nobody ever, ain't nobody ever done that one for me, that I ain't touched him. You know what I mean? I ain't never touched him.
Man, hey, you do me a favor. You tell him you let him know about my couch. He need to come sit on my couch for a little while. We need to have a
Are you gonna share
conversation.
your couch?
I have to share my couch with bro for real, but I'm gonna sit in the other seat because he need therapy.
You will
Whoever he
not.
is,
You will
he
not.
does need therapy. If he didn't went and whole proposed to somebody that he ain't never even had a date
give
with.
him a chance
But that was
to.
his friend. They
Yeah.
were friends. And he kept seeing something in her that he
Uh-huh.
wanted. And so he was willing, it was worth
Yep.
all or nothing to him. He went all the way.
How
It
about
didn't come
saying,
out
hey,
the way.
hey, we friends, can we go and try to take this to the next level first? Can we try to be more
Yeah,
than
that's
friends?
cool. That's cool. But he
But to
said
go
he
He
was
from
like
did.
A to
He
all or
Z,
went about the
nothing.
ring.
what about
Yeah,
them other
it's all
24 letters between the alphabet between A and Z? You just skip from A
He
to P on
skipped
over
them.
to
yep.
X. You know what I mean? I'm just
He,
going to do Z
That's
right
what he
now.
did.
now he shot his jumper. He shot
That's
his
somebody
jump.
that struggled with when you know you was
He
young and you
did,
didn't know the
honey.
whole alphabet. You better A-M-M-Z. He just
Yeah,
did it just like
just
you know.
get
I'm whole A B C D E F. I'm going all the
Ah.
way through, but this
just
just
take.
ABC. It's not a race. I'm trying to do this for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember,
Okay,
I
hold
told
on.
y'all that he was a great about a being a. It was I had a guy that was a great guy, but just wasn't a great guy for me.
Uh-huh.
That's the guy.
Wow. I hope he don't never listen to this show because he might go commit suicide or something. Well, I will not commit suicide, but did he get his money
Ooh,
back for the
child.
ring?
But I would
Did he
hope
get his
so.
money back for the ring, or did he hold it for somebody, the next lady? Because he probably, at that rate, I think he might have been proposing to somebody else again within about 3 or 4 weeks. Because he was in love with the idea of getting married. Let me tell you something. Marriage, I did it for 20 years, and marriage is not for the faint of heart. You know, you got to learn how to be married, right? Karen, how long were you married?
30. Well, 28. I
28
was with him
years, right?
33, but legally married 28.
Wow.
And really getting married. I mean, tell them in year one, it ain't nothing like year 20, is it? Because you know,
No.
people are going to a marriage on in the beginning and thinking I want this type of marriage, not realizing somebody had to put in 20, 25, 30 years of work to get to that
Right.
point, to get to that level of
Right.
patience, to learn that person's idiosyncrasies, to learn what I can put up with and what I can't put up with. You know what I'm saying? To learn, I mean, you still know things about him, you know what I'm saying, at this state, just because, man, you all them secrets that I don't know how I got on that tangent. I apologize. I apologize.
Well, I've been divorced for 10 years, so his secrets might not be
Yeah, they probably
secrets.
see.
I
I mean,
mean,
his secrets and changed now. Yeah, he shared them with
yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
He just shared them secrets with somebody else. But no, that's all. Hey, but I get it. Well, I don't know how long I've been divorced. I forgot. But yeah. But this friend zone thing. So y'all in the chat, can you get from who am I echoing with? Can you get from the friend zone to the end zone? That's the question. Can you get? And here's the definition of friend zone again for those that are just coming in. It's a situation in which a friendship exists between two people, one of whom has an unreciprocated romantic or sexual interest in the other. Tarina says her, and I'm it's tough. I don't say. I think you can go from being friends to a relationship, but I think it's tough to get from the friend zone to a relationship. I'm one of those type of people that make you eat your words.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? If you tell me that that's not what you want and that's not where we're going with this, I believe you. So
That's me, James.
yeah,
And I'm gonna treat you as such.
I'm gonna treat you as such. And
Don't
so
try
if
to
you
cross
told,
over.
yeah, but Kim, in that instance, when that tire get bad, ain't no 4 tires.
Uh-uh.
Ain't no 4 tires. You're gonna get a can of Fix a Flat.
Listen, that
Or
man
maybe
bought me 4 times too.
This man.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes, Jace. Yes.
James, you
But
could
that's
not
not me.
say
I don't
fix
know if
a
I can do
flat.
that. I don't know. Y'all.
uh no, I'm giving you Tarina said no. So you getting to Fix a Flat. Jackie Wilson said it's possible. Dylan, what Dwight Dylan said it depends on the circumstance. So give me a
Yeah, I would
circumstance
have.
where it won't. Give me a circumstance where it won't work. Dylan, give me a circumstance where it won't work. Yeah, Kim, you getting
Well,
you
what
now.
won't work?
Where because I'm talking about moving from the friend zone to the end zone. He said it depends on the circumstance, and I'm saying give me an example where. And I'm talking to Dylan Winston now because he said that in the chat that it depends on the circumstance. So what kind of circumstance what kind of circumstance would it be where it wouldn't work, where we would be you would be unable to move from the friend zone to the end zone. Yeah, Kim, you gonna have that one. If you got 3 Michelins, I'm gonna give you a. If that one tire go bad, I Fix a Flat won't work, I will get you a used tire. Okay,
Are
Fix
we
a
That's
Flat
waiting
right.
won't.
on Dylan to answer that question you just asked? The situation where it won't work.
Well, he's the one that made the say that depends on the circumstance. If you think
Okay.
of a situation, if you can think of a situation where it won't work, you're welcome to share that situation
Well,
then.
I mean,
Well,
if we homeboys and homegirls, and you may have slept with one of my friends or somebody that I know, and I won't even say friends, just somebody I know, that would be a reason why, or dated. We don't even have to go to sleep and talk to. We won't be able to cross over that from the friend
But
zone to the end zone.
I'm like that. I'm the same
Yeah.
way. If
Yeah.
it's one of my friends or an associate or something like that, nah, I won't do it.
so no smashing past, huh?
Hell no.
What if it's been like 15, 20 years? What if they did? What if they
I
kicked it in high school?
don't give a damn. No.
Not gonna happen.
Wow.
What about you, Lady Karen? What if they kicked it in high school?
Oh man, I don't have a problem with that in high school, but I don't have friends. That's my problem.
Yeah, I ain't
I
got
don't have
no
no friends.
friends. I ain't got no
So,
friends.
but in high school, you know, that was a long time ago for me now. Man, you remember I graduated in '82. And if it was
Yeah.
somebody he kicked with then, I don't have nothing to do with what went on back then. No, that don't have nothing to do with me. I
So
would date
Kim,
him.
if you went to the prom with him, and then later on your homegirl want to kick it with him, ain't no happening.
I mean, that's high school. I ain't talking about that.
But
I'm talking
so
about
Yeah,
when does this apply?
that's a
Okay,
little too far
Let's
back.
yeah, like
clarify that. Let's clarify.
like as adult friends, like now, like adult friends. Somebody, okay. I have college female friends
Mhm.
that they date. I knew they dated someone when that someone has circled back to try to date me. I won't do it because I'm still cool with her.
Okay.
You know, even though I was in college 91, 94, I still won't do it. I won't. I'm just like no. And then I think he
28
married
years.
her at one point.
Oh, they got married at one point?
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude,
Yeah, I think that'd definitely be
no.
that'd be some Tyler Perry. That'd be some Tyler Perry type stuff right there. If you
Now,
You
now,
know it.
now, James, without saying no names,
Mm-mm.
don't say it.
my
Don't say it because he gonna say the name. Like,
Text me.
my
Text me.
wait, I'm
Text me.
say
Tell
this.
me.
my older son's dad. I won't date anybody that's affiliated, and you know what I mean when I say affiliated with him.
Okay, I got you.
I wouldn't.
I got you. Really? I can see that though because he still probably would have a problem with that. To this day. And I ain't gonna lie, we selfish like that. We have some problem. I mean, I ain't gonna talk about we. You know, I don't like saying we because I got my own. I got my own fingerprints. So I don't really like to say we. I don't think everybody thinks alike. I think everybody are individuals. We love to classify people and stereotype them and put them in categories. But I really think I'm my own person. Kim, I'm glad you on here because you know what? I was thinking about that earlier today. You are my catechizer. You are definitely my catechizer. You know, because you have to interpret for me sometimes. Like when Ashley talking about I'm picking on her, and Ashley be talking about I'm mean and all this kind of stuff. As much as I talk to Ashley, I get me and Ashley are cool, but then she gonna try to talk about I'm mean. That hurts my feelings sometimes. Well, no, it really don't.
Oh, I'm sorry, James. You know I don't want to hurt your feelings.
I took it back before you could even apologize. Did you notice that?
I'm clapping my hands because it's amazing to have a black man just on his own apologize. I love that, James. Don't take it back.
What I apologize for? No, that's my girl. No. Ashley's my partner for real though. Me and Ashley actually have conversations, and we have pushback.
All the time.
She the only one that pushed back, but it don't matter. I usually win by the end of the conversation. She just wants me to make me think a different way, and that's good.
Exactly.
What you want to know, Tarina? You push me, girl. Believe me, I think like too much. I be trying to turn these thoughts off sometimes. If I could ever figure out what you want to know, Tarina. I mean, am I saying that right? I don't know.
I think her name if I'm not mistaken, it's Tiriana.
Is it Tiriana? Because last week I said Tiriana. This week I said Tarina. I don't know which one it is. I was thinking, I don't like saying people's wrong. One person did come in my inbox, told me I said their name wrong one time. So I try to make sure I call myself trying to be up on phonics and all that kind of stuff. So it's all good. Hey, Kendra Munn, you say we can move from the friend zone to the end zone. Which one? Tarina or Tarina? Which one is it? Tiriana.
Tiriana.
All right, I ain't gonna say nothing else. Tiriana until she says yes. Tiriana, is it that? Hold on. You know what? I just thought about something. Because we're going to talk about something else in a minute that I really want to talk about. I really do want to talk about it. I really do. Yeah, give me yes and yes what she said. I got you. All right, so let me hold on. I gotta pay some bills right quick. Give me a second. Let me pay.
Well, while you at it, pay mine too.
See?
Yeah.
All right, we back now. I wanted to pay some bills right quick. For those of you all that don't have life insurance, get you some for real. That's real talk. You know, you don't your response. You don't need to be you don't need to you need to be every responsible adult should at least be able to take care of their own burial if something were to happen. Don't leave that burden on your loved one. We got to make sure you take care of that. Now tomorrow at 1:30, I'm going to do a show about that. And we're going to answer a lot of questions about how to properly apply life insurance to your life. But let's get back to this conversation about the friend zone. Now, several people uh in the chat are answering. Some say yes, some say that maybe, some say depends on the circumstances, some say no. So the truth is, there is no right or wrong answer. I think it's harder. I definitely think it's harder to move from the friend zone to the end zone. But I do believe that one the best foundation for any type of relationship is a good friendship. I think that if you're gonna move into a relationship, that you should be friends, and if you're not friends, it's gonna make it hard to have a relationship that would be sustained over time. You know, people get out. You know, people get in relationships and marriages now and get divorced in 6 months and a year and all that kind of stuff. How you go from wanting to get married and supposedly loving somebody, while all of a sudden you can't stand them and you really y'all wasn't friends. You couldn't have been friends, or you hadn't gone through the type of hadn't gone through type of counseling or something. But we got my thing is I think we need to figure out how to have more productive relationships. I think most of us we got to figure out. I see somebody raising their hand. We got to figure out how to have more productive relationships, and I think we got to learn how. We got to y'all know what we got to learn how to be married, man. We got to learn how to be married, and that starts with being friends. That starts with being friends, and I think that's why even my ex and I we had some rocky years in those 20 years, right? But she and I talked about that the other day when we went down to watch our daughter play softball, and I asked her, Lady K, I said, you know, I'm on the show. Sometimes I talk about how you and I never argued, and I've been challenged on that. So I mean, people have told me, no, that ain't true. Nowhere in the world y'all were married 20 years and didn't get married. And I asked him and didn't argue, and I said, am I lying? Did we ever argue? And she said, I could count on one hand and have fingers left over the amount of times we argued. Then I took it to the next step. I said, should we have argued? And she said, we didn't necessarily have to argue, but we could have talked more. You know what I'm saying? Because we left stuff in our heads. You know what I'm saying? We just want to sweep the stuff under the rug. By my estimation, two grown-ups that are intelligent and both love the Lord. We ain't no what we sitting around arguing for. You know what I'm saying? We can communicate. We
Right.
can know it's.
I
I mean,
agree.
we used to have. I used to have this thing that I called 3 a.m. conversations. And so, and what it was, seemed like the Lord would wake us up both the same time every night by 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was pitch black in the room. No lights. I mean, from you couldn't even see the light off the alarm clock, but we would just talk. Didn't have to look at each other, but we could just talk. And some of those were some of our most productive conversations. Nothing like arguments or nothing, but but it was communication. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that foundation was in the friendship that we had, and that's what kind of helped us last. And now we're better friends now. You know, we're cooler now, because we can look in the mirror and look at and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's imperative that we be friends. What time? It's 9:45. I wanted to move on to something else. Did any of y'all have anything to say about the whole friend zone piece? Did I leave anything out? Ashley, I know you wanted to get a little deeper into that Was it something else you wanted
No.
to say about the friend zone?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, well, I know last week you was talking about if the reason you want to keep him in the friend zone because if you do let him out the friend zone and he gets some of it, if it's whack,
That
it's
is
gonna mess
not.
up the. You said if it's whack, it's gonna mess up the. That was you that started that whole conversation last week. I ain't gonna lie, you
Okay.
started.
Now who bringing it up
It was
now? You'll be trying to blame that on me tomorrow. Don't
Yep,
even
I
try.
will. I sure will, y'all. Fool. I sure will. But
You sure be trying to blame it on me.
hey, get the ratings up, man. I'm cool with it. But but I'm saying so. If it, but that's real talk though. That's real talk though. Is that? I mean, that's how you. That would be the reason why you wouldn't do it though. Is that a reason why women would keep somebody from going forward because because you're afraid that if it is whack, that the friendship is over, or you can't look at them the same, or how does that work?
Well,
Ashley.
when you get in moving somebody from the friend zone to potentially dating them has very little to do with the sexual activity. Because I don't mean any harm. You may not even make it to that part. So that part has nothing to do. That particular part is not the main reason.
You said you
However,
might.
it,
You said you
it
might not make it
yeah,
to that
you
part,
might not make it to be in the sheets.
but so many people lead with that though
Oh
in
no,
this
that
day.
well, you asked me what I'ma do.
Okay, my bad. You're
Because
right. You
I'm not
did. You
just
did.
giving up my cootie cat.
You did. Your
So
what?
my cootie cat.
Okay. I'm
So yeah.
blushing again.
No,
I'm
you
blushing.
may not even make it to that particular thing.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Shantae said, "Get to know each other because it's not always about the money." Okay, I'm trying to see some. I'm trying to see. Dylan said, "Respect will help," and he's laughing at you because you see they see me blushing. Y'all, black people do blush sometimes because I'm blushing right now. To be honest with y'all, so I wanted to. I wanted to. I gave this scenario the other night. I mean, the other day on Facebook, and it was a. I'm moving from friend zone now to a stew study. That's what I'm calling this now. It's like a case study, but I'm calling it a stew study. All right. So I put this story that I saw on a radio station's website. It's like how y'all do the power people poll question and all that kind of stuff. Well, they did this in Nashville, Tennessee, and this lady wrote into the show, and she told her situation, and she gave everybody a chance to comment on it. And I put that question out there on Facebook sometime last week, and everybody jumped on it. And when they jumped on it, I saw so many different sides of the story. People were approaching it from different angles, right? And I really wanted us to discuss it because I want to see what y'all thought. Now, Kim, I saw what you wrote. Uh, Lady K, we talked about it a little bit. Ash, I don't think we talked about it. But I want us to kind of look at this and what uh see what y'all thought about. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna put it on the screens, and I need to make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. Here it is. This says, "I am a single mom to a 13-year-old daughter. Her father was a problem. He never abused us physically, but he drank a lot, yelled a lot, and was always critical of both of us. So I never allowed her, talking about her daughter, to have friends over to our house. She went over to theirs all the time. I now have a new boyfriend who is amazing, and he has moved in with us. Fast forward. Last week, my daughter had a sleepover with 3 friends. They were downstairs in our family room. Okay, I didn't even notice that part. I assumed that before. They were downstairs in our family room and still fast asleep. Saturday morning at 10, I mean, it's a sleepover. So they were up really late. My boyfriend needed to get up and get some things done around the house, but I wouldn't let him wake up the girls just yet. I wanted them to have a great time. It's 10 o'clock. Since this was really the first time my daughter got to host her own sleepover. Finally, at 11:30, he had had enough. They were still sleeping, and he went downstairs and yelled, "Okay, the day is half over. Everybody up." It kind of scared a couple of the girls, and they all just got their things and left. My daughter was embarrassed and said she never wants to have another sleepover here, and this is going to end up just being just like it was with Dad. My boyfriend says it was no big deal, and we're all overreacting. What do you think? So that's the question. That's the scenario. That's the scenario. All right. Y'all hear it all? Do I need to? So do I need to read it again, or do everybody think they got it pretty much for the most part?
I got it.
Amen.
You don't have. Yeah,
I
you
don't have
don't
to
have
read
to
it
read it.
again. So people in the chat, 13-year-old, he had 13-year-old daughter living with her mom, boyfriend living in the house. So this is the situation. What do y'all think about the situation? All right. So first thing Shantae says is I don't agree. Oops, hold on. Shantae says I don't agree with the yelling. I don't agree with the yelling. Tiriana gave a bunch of angry face emojis. So who you angry with, Tiriana? Tiriana. Who you angry with? Because there's several people in the story. You got the man in the story, the boyfriend. You got the woman in the story that has the daughter, uh, and you have the daughter and her friends. So uh, Shantae said he was wrong. Ashley, what you think? You there, Ashley? All right, Lady K, what you think?
I would say I won't say he was wrong, but what I will say is I feel he should have let his girlfriend handle that. Wait, whenever she decided to wake them up, he should have just had her do it. Like, babe, I need to go down and I don't know whatever he needs to do. So, can you get the kids up by noon? Can you get the kids up at 1? I don't think he should have, for a lot of reasons. I don't think he should have been the one to do it, but not because it's a right or wrong. It's just to help the whole situation go a lot smoother. That's what
I was on mute. Sorry.
Okay,
I
you were
say.
on mute.
Were you talking? Were you talking to yourself?
I was on mute.
All right, so let's
She was talking to
let's
herself.
okay, so let's go. Tiriana said the boy, but wait a minute. Shantae said the boy was wrong. The boyfriend, he was wrong. Tiriana said the boyfriend was wrong. Valencia Coleman said he could have handled it better than that. Um, uh, uh, who is this? Jackie Wilson said I think he should have let the mother take care of it.
Come on, come on, Vivid.
That's Jackie. Okay. All right, Ashley. I'm going to put Tiriana's answer up in a minute, but go ahead, Ashley.
Hey, James, let Nick in.
I don't see him. Oh, there he is.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I see him now.
As far I first was trying to figure out why the boyfriend was there. Um most of the times when young ladies are having sleepovers, the man is not there. That was the first thing. And I also agree with everybody else. I don't think anything should have been said to those girls that if you're dealing with children that are outside of your house, I'm not saying you should do things differently than how you operate with your other children, but just be a little bit more tactful because they may experience totally different things at their home than what you're experiencing at yours.
Okay.
I
I
think
can
it was
ride.
too much. Don't wake me up on no damn Saturday.
Okay. Dylan said he could have let mom handle it too. All right, Nick, are you up on the story, Nick?
Yeah, I'm up on the story. I mean, I guess I'm with the consensus of everyone else. He could have let the mother handle it. I mean, me personally, if I was in that situation, that would have gave me a reason to go do something and not be at the house because of the
Mm-hmm.
house full of women. But it's sometimes it's not what you say; it's about how you say it. So
Mm-hmm.
if he actually go down there and yell, or did he just say, "Hey, y'all, it's time to get up"? But they took it. They took his assertiveness a certain way.
Right,
Now Nick, that's what I'm thinking.
right.
Because sometimes we jump on the surface. You know what I'm saying? We jump on the surface of a story, right? And we jump on the surface of a story, then we assume we take everything for face value. Number one, okay, maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to jump into because I don't want to sway the thought pattern yet. Oh, Tiriana said with them not being married, the mother should have never hosted a sleepover anyway. She said, "That's just me." Kim, I think you're the only one that hadn't responded. What do you what you tell me what you said? I know what you wrote the other day, but go ahead and tell me what you thought
Um,
about it.
I didn't feel like well, the mother never said how long her and this man had been dating, and how long he had been living there. But I'm sure they had talked about the situation
No.
with the daughter and the relationship with the dad. So if he's living there, I'm sure the conversation has come up about
Mhm.
that. If I trust you in my home with my daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, then we should, there should be some kind of conversation. First about me, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it now. But in this case, um, but in this case, when he went down there, you got 13-year-old teenage girls. He put himself in a position, you know, where it could have went left or right, right?
Mhm.
He put himself in an awkward position, but I do feel like the boyfriend was wrong. He shouldn't have been the one to go down there. I just feel like he put himself in a bad situation. The mother should have gone down there, but at the same time, this was her very first sleepover. You know, this was an opportunity for her to really get her confidence back up, or just, you know, help move her to a better space, because clearly there was some issues there with the relationship with the biological dad. So there was a missed opportunity here too.
I like
Yeah,
that, Kim.
yeah. I hear that. I hear that. I got all kind of issues with this whole story, though. To be honest with you, I got all kind. And you know what, man? In society, just you know what? I hear people say that the black woman is under attack, and I get it. But black men have been under attack for so long. I mean, for so long.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, uh, everybody automatically pile. It's so much easier to pile on the brother in every situation. In 1980, whatever it was, 80. When you remember when Clinton went out and started this whole super predator thing about because he was trying to show that he was tough on crime, right? What was the first thing he did? He showed a picture of what? A black man, right? And so that if that was in 86, and we look and here we are 30, almost 40 years later, right? What has happened to the image of the black man in those 30, 40 years? Now, saying that to say this. Now we look at this story, right? And Dallin, how am I gonna answer your phone and I'm on the show? Real talk. Hold on. That bro, I cannot answer your phone while I'm talking right now. But with that being said, it's so much first of all, I'm
Hell,
first of all,
Holy
if I
Ghost.
first of all, I'm a man, right? I'm not moving in your house while you have a teenage daughter. That's just not gonna happen, right? And if a mother, what kind of mother moves a man in with her 13-year-old daughter? Especially knowing that she's been traumatized. Okay. Now, this whole story, you're talking about what could have went right and what could have went left. Now, he came out at 10 o'clock, said, "Hey, they need to get up. They need to get up. They need to get up." So he waited a whole nother hour and a half, 11:30, almost 12 o'clock. And this, Kim, let me ask you this right here. If you know you got a house full of girls and you got a man in the house, why in the hell are they laying in the common area? Why they ain't in the bedroom with the door closed? Because what if he walks out at 3 o'clock in the morning because he got to go wet, as my grandmama used to say, and she ain't say use the bathroom. She said, "I got to go wet." Man, so what if he got to go wet and he walking through the house and this little girl got a nightgown on, but her nightgown had moved up a little bit, right? And now
But
she's exposed.
but again, what Nick said, why is he even? No, somebody else said, why is he even in the house when it's a sleepover going
He
on with
So
li-
30?
he
I
lived
said
there.
that. But I mean, living there or not, okay. If you have a reason to get out the house, you gonna get out the house. Come on now,
But what if
James.
she's but
I
Nick? What if
agree.
she?
James,
What if
come
she
on
was
now, James.
uncovered? No, I get that. I'm okay. I'm using your scenario.
Yeah.
I'm walking out the house. All right. It's 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go outside and cut some grass, right? But when I walk by, this little girl is covered up. I mean, uncovered. I'm seeing something I ain't got no business seeing. That
Yeah.
should be covered up. Let me tell you like this, and this is just me talking, okay? Me and my ex never let our daughters go spend the night with anybody. sleepover or not. And you ain't coming over here and sleep over our house. And if you went to visit somebody else's house, my first question was, who live in that house? Because I need to know. Because I don't care if your mama live with if your mama live with her boyfriend, my daughters ain't coming over your house. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. So y'all are absolving the woman of the responsibility. Because all y'all want to do, watch this. Y'all want to holler, protect our girls. Bring our girls back. Do all this for our girls, but you setting her up with somebody that's in the house. Did the mama, I can't say for sure, but did the mama do a Google search? Make sure this Negro ain't no sexual predator?
Well, let
Did
me
the
ask
mama?
this question on
Okay,
that,
go ahead.
James, though, because who's to say that the child was a teenager at the point where, or did I miss that part, that they got together and he moved in?
She said new boyfriend, and she said 13 years old, so I'm assuming it had to be in the last few times. It said,
Well, I
she
mean,
said, she said, I got my new boyfriend, and my new boyfriend moved in with my 13-year-old daughter. So that's when I'm assuming it's somewhere in that area. I mean, we don't know for sure, but I'm just.
She said new boyfriend and moved in. I just
okay.
kind
No,
Well,
it was no.
with that
Hold on,
being
Valencia
said,
Coleman. It was 9:30 a.m. Because he was waking them up at 10 o'clock, and he was trying to get them up at 10 o'clock and 11:30 a.m. Yeah.
from that perspective, then we not saying James that she ain't at fault at some thing, because
But
I ain't bringing no nigga like
I ain't
that
heard
around. I
nobody
mean, no
say that she
man.
was at
Sorry.
fault. Only people I've heard that say she was at fault, honestly, believe it or not, and you know how I go back and analyze the post, Ashley. When I went back and analyzed the post, the only people who called her out on her stuff were about 50 years and up. Like my aunt.
Well, I
My
think
aunt.
was the
Like,
question asked. Was he wrong? Because see, the thing about it is, when you ask certain questions, and they give an answer based upon the question that was
well, the question
asked.
says, The question says, what do you think? It don't say was he
Okay.
wrong. The question says, what do you think?
Okay.
And
So,
everybody piled directly
go
on
ahead.
her. Everybody piled directly on him when they said, what do you think? Like, first thing I saw people say, it's her house. He in her house. He in her house. All that kind of. That's how they typed it. I don't know. That's how I heard it. I don't know what they typed it.
That's probably how they said it. You're right. I'm gonna give you
Yeah,
that one, brother.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna give you that one this time.
but it's so many variables to this
Yes.
whole scenario than just the whole fact of, because I saw somebody say earlier, they say, in the Black Baptist in the Black household growing up, what we do on Saturday morning,
Get up and
growing
clean
up,
up.
get up and clean up and listen to the
Get up
blues,
and
right?
clean up.
And listen to the blues. And listen to the blues, right? And these
Yep.
girls will sleep till 11:30. I understand you got a sleepover. Now, if I even in my house, if I'd have went downstairs and everybody sleep, I probably would have been like, hey, y'all go in y'all's room. Or I'd have told her, go down there and tell them to go in their room. But as far as being in this common area, because I missed it the first time, the thing said they were sleeping in the living room. So the living room is in the common area of the house. It's 11:30. Things got to get done. Somebody, oh yeah, Jackie Wilson said chores. Shantae said get up and clean. It's a different day now. I get it. But y'all, like I said, if we're protecting our girls, let's really protect our girls, because now I'm gonna go a little bit deeper with this. Now people aren't getting married anymore. Statistics say people aren't getting married anymore, so that means people probably gonna be shacking more, which means it's gonna be blended families with more, boyfriends that are in houses with kids that are not their own and that ain't even step parents. Y'all know that, right? Step parent involves a marriage had to take place at some point. So just cause you call them daddy, but ain't nobody got no ring on. That ain't no step parent. That's just filling in. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much tonight, y'all. I know I'm talking too much. So tell me, how is he? I'm sorry. Let me look at this story again. What you think, Lady K? Talk to me. Talk to me, Lady K. Y'all help me out.
I said from the very beginning the mom should let the dad go downstairs. That was and I agree with Nick. If he had
Lady K, we lost you.
I'll wait till she get done.
We can't hear her, so you go ahead.
Think about it. Growing up, in a sense, we didn't sleep late for one anyway, because you was trying to say who could stay up the latest for one, And then for two, first thing in the morning, y'all parents coming to get you. You gonna get breakfast and you on your way out the door. Hey, it's time for y'all to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you lying.
We got stuff to do. You know, you're lucky you had a sleepover.
That part, Nick.
You lucky you had one, but I think here's the thing is that at the age of 13, in today's climate, at the age of 13, and they're having a sleepover, the mom should have thought this out a little bit more. Because, and the reason I say this is because you have young ladies that's at the age of 12 and 13, bodies goes back to what you were saying, James. Bodies are developing at a rapid pace than they was in the past. So at the age of 13 and you're having a sleepover in the common area, then the mom should have done this, should have planned this a little bit better. If that's the case, she should have took the sleepover to the hotel, or they could have had a girls' night at the hotel with the friends, this, that, and the third. And sleepovers was with your cousin. True, sleepovers.
That's it, Tiriana. You own it.
Sleepovers.
You own it, Tiriana.
With your cousins now.
Cousins.
Yep. We had enough cousins to keep us occupied. You know what I'm saying?
And that still was restricted because if you had some cousins that wasn't right, they couldn't come over.
Yeah.
Or you couldn't go over their house because they folks wasn't right.
Yeah,
right.
I think all the way around is just you really can't necessarily get on the man about this, married or not married. It's just I think the mom should have thought this out just a little bit more than what it was in today's climate and the age of the young girls. Because you can not necessarily raise, you can raise your voice and be seen as yelling, but you just kind of spoke up, and that's not necessarily what it is. You're not necessarily yelling, but hey, get up. That's not
right.
yelling. You saying
that's a man. That's a man's voice. That's a man's voice. And Nick, let me say this, Lady K. Can I hear you now? Talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So, and this is the part I think we're leaving out of this scenario. Okay. The part we're leaving out, Ashley, the part we're leaving out, Kim, and this is for Lady K to respond. The part we're leaving out is that mama and daughter are already bringing trauma from their past relationship. Yeah, leave that part. Don't run that. Don't run past that part, because she said he wasn't physically abusive, but when he would drink, he would start yelling, and it would embarrass her so much, and they had the daughter shell shocked or whatever you want to call it, all this kind of stuff. So as soon as she hears a stentorious voice, soon as she hears some voice with a little bass in it, right? Then all of a sudden now she's saying, guess what? This is the same situation as before. And so now the mama gonna have to end up making a choice. What you think, Lady K?
Right.
I agree with what Nick said. I mean, the whole thing should have been thought out a little bit more by the mom. And I'm kind of lost at what drove the two girls to get their stuff and leave. I mean, that sounded like they might have been coached a little bit. Her daughter may have already been upset in the feelings, and they was like, "Ooh, let's get out of here," I don't think it was thought out well. Just period. I see a lot wrong with it. He shouldn't have been
a lot
there.
of times. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you said what prompted the other girls to leave. If you're not used to, if you don't experience those type of things at your house, that will prompt you to get your stuff and get on down, because that's abnormal to you.
I wonder how they left that fast, though.
Having a man say.
No, I wonder how they left that fast. They wasn't. They 13. They wasn't driving. Did they live?
I don't know.
We don't know for sure. We don't have that part of the information, but we don't have that part of the
story.
Well,
we ain't gonna say it was. They got in their car and went on, but they had somebody come pick them up. They had to get on down. If you're not used to those type of things going on in your house, then that could have triggered you to get up and leave. Or just like somebody just said, the girl could have been like, you know what, y'all call y'all mama, tell them to come pick y'all up.
Yeah.
Because we go back to her being embarrassed.
And that's what Lady K said. If she wondered if the girls were coached, because because friends talk about their problems. So she probably used to tell them when her daddy, I can't stand him. He always wake up. Yeah, every time he drank, he always yelling at us and all this kind of stuff. And then the moment she heard, like Nick said, somebody with a little bass in their voice. Hey, y'all, hey, it's time to get up. Hey, it's time to get up. That ain't yelling. You know what I'm saying? That is, but coming from the right man that has a look, because I know I've been
Right.
accused of yelling before, because I got a little bit stronger voice than some other people, or they be like, or if I'm talking to somebody and they thinking something's about to escalate, first thing they say, calm down. Wait a minute, I'm not hyped. How you calming me down before I get hyped? That's but people know that the best way to try to control a black man is to try to cut his head off before he has to cut his legs off before he can stand, if that makes sense. Let's look at some of these comments over here. Valencia Coleman, I know you want to say something. Give me a second. Valencia Coleman said those girls, they need to get therapy and heal from the trauma. If he traumatized them like that, I'm talking about the daddy, because that's her biological father, right?
Hold on.
No.
Can I say something real quick, James?
It's two, we talking about two different things.
Oh no, you said it was the mother's boyfriend who said something, and you said that she was traumatized by her father and the way he was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So check this out. I'm sitting here and listening, and I'm letting this thing play in my mental, and I might be saying it wrong, but if that's the case, before her mom moved anybody else in, they both should have healed from what they was dealing with.
Absolutely.
In the past, because all you're doing is taking the baggage from the past into the present. So you're not healing from anything. You're just adding you adding on top of it. And then it goes back to again what we just said about those that may not be raised up in that household of what some of us two parents, some of us one parent, some of us had an easy parent, some of us had a stern parent. Everybody is not raised the same way. So I mean, all of these variables come into play, but the initial point is the mother should have made sure her and her daughter were healed before they even moved on, and especially moving somebody into the house, point blank, or moving in with somebody. You got to make sure that those past traumas are dealt with, and that's the problem in our community anyway. We don't deal with our past traumas. We just I get over it, or I ain't gonna worry about it. We just bottle it up and keep going, but we're steady adding to those past things, past traumas that we don't heal from,
and everybody else paying for it.
Exactly.
Because hurt people. And we have a way of bleeding on people that did nothing, absolutely nothing. The man just being himself. Tiriana said so we would assume that the mother had personal conversations about the past. I mean, yeah. That I would hope that happened. I would hope that happened. It makes sense for that to happen, but who knows? We'll see. Okay.
James,
okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to put a spin on this. So with most slumber parties, that like the ones I've had with and my mom used to do with my sisters when they were younger, there would be like when we have a time that parents ahead of time about what time to pick up their child the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Now here go the flip side. I had one with my daughter. I have two boys as well. My oldest son, because he's much old, he was a teenager, and so I sent him to stay the night with his dad.
Okay.
So we were expecting all the other girls left at the designated time. One girl wouldn't leave. I kept saying, "Well, where your mama, baby?" Because about this time my son has come home. My 16-year-old has come home.
Got you.
I'm like, and she looking at my 16-year-old. And I'm telling her, you need to call your parents. Where are your parents?
Exactly. Yep.
Every excuse in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and so now I'm watching her watch my son and trying to follow up behind.
Yeah.
So finally, I got, that's when I said that earlier about the dad kind of walked into a situation it could have went left or right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not saying all little girls, but some little girls kind of.
Lady K, you told us about a lady at church. I mean, your little young girl at church. What was the story about the little young girl at church?
That's you're talking about the one that was 12 and was sleeping. Yeah. And I want to say this. I want to say this in a situation like that, and I'm just giving my 2 cents because it could come up with somebody that is watching this show. And I have had a many sleepovers. I have 6 children, 4 girls and 2 boys, and my God, kids. When the minute, like I'm talking to Kim now, when she would not leave, it was time for her to get in your car and be taken home because she had something on her mind. Even if your son just came home and
That's
he walked into the bee's nest,
yeah.
and the sad thing about it is, I'm glad you brought that back up, James. There are a lot of young women that have watched their mothers, our age, do the wrong thing the
Yep.
wrong way and will
Yep.
look for any opportunity to do what they think is right. This is how it's
Yep.
supposed to be. I see this 15-year-old guy, boy, he's probably very handsome, very articulate. Oh, yeah, he can be my boyfriend. So, it's a whole lot wrong with
Yes, a lot
these
that can go
type of
wrong.
situations when the
Yeah.
parents are not in the mental state they need.
And
That's
that's the
why my
key.
kids didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and mine didn't either.
Mine didn't
And
either. Mine didn't.
Kennedy
Baby.
Kennedy ain't gonna stay with nobody until doggone. When I take that back, if she did a softball retreat or something, it was at a lodge or at a retreat. It wasn't over nobody's house. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a different. Because I can't tell what's going on in your house. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because I know what I do in my house. But everybody has not been enculturated the same way I've been enculturated. Not to say I'm right or I'm wrong, they're right or they're wrong, but I just have a certain. Like I was telling my son the other day, I didn't let certain people talk to him until he got a certain age. I couldn't let you say something because you might have said something contrary to what I'm teaching him, right? And then if
Mhm.
you say something that's contrary to what I'm teaching him, then you're creating confusion. Now, when he got 15, 16, 17, and he knew right from wrong, and he can filter through that mess, or better yet, he can make his own choices, that's different. But until then, it's my job to expose him. And this little girl had been to, apparently she was hosting her first sleepover, but she had been to several sleepovers apparently, and they had their little thing of how they were handling their business. Hold on, let's look at some of the comments. Hold on, because we were talking about Valencia was saying that the mother and the daughter needed healing,
Yep.
and Turiana started telling some of her stories. She said she was, and thanks for your transparency, Turiana, in this regard. But she said, so I was raped at 13, and she said I thought I was healed, but then later on it came up in my marriage. She said for some people, healing is a process that takes
Mm-hmm.
place in different stages. Even when you feel like you've healed, then you probably had not healed. So even with the mom and the trauma that she had experienced with her husband, her ex-husband, had they been healed enough to have, you know what I'm saying, even first of all, to move somebody in your house,
Mm-hmm.
but then to open up your house to let other folk in. You know what I'm saying? Because the girl apparently was comfortable enough with the new boyfriend by himself until he raised his voice on the day
That
of
was
the
a trigger
sleepover.
for her.
That was a trigger. That's the point.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
Ashley. Talk about
Yep.
trigger. What
But
tell
but the question but the question is, what's the definition of raise your voice? Did he really raise his voice, or did he speak in the tone of what a man speaks in?
Well, you know what, Nicholas? It
speak what you
doesn't
want.
matter
That
what
that,
our
that the friends
definition
are not
of.
used to.
It's not what our definition of yelling would be, but it's what is perceived by her,
Exactly.
because she's the person who has had to experience the raising of the voice from
And
her father.
that's the trauma. She's hearing and Ashley, you're right. But she's hearing, let me say it like this. She's hearing through a filter,
Mm-hmm.
and that filter had been amplified. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet $1,000 to a donut
Mm-hmm.
that her response to his voice, his assertive voice, as Nick says, and I agree with that. It
Mm-hmm.
brought back it brought back the trauma, and her
Mm-hmm.
response is what made the girls leave. I guarantee you, it wasn't his voice that made the girls leave. I guarantee it, because if she broke down and started crying And there you go. That's what Valencia Coleman said. She probably started crying and all that kind of stuff. So when she started crying, how you think her friends are going to respond?
Right.
Yeah, it was a scene. It may have been a scene cause that made them uncomfortable. Of course.
Yeah.
That's right.
And also in his defense, well, in a man's defense, y'all voice, if it goes not even 2 octaves, but a little bit higher than what's normal with girls anyway, I've seen it. It's gonna be a whole meltdown anyway, because daddy is doing something different than he normally does. You know, they don't want to disappoint y'all anyway.
Well, yeah.
So if he had been talking to her in one tone of voice all the time, he may have just came down the stairs and said, "Y'all get up." And it might not have been a yelling like Nicholas said, but to her it was.
Yeah. That's tough. That's a tough scenario. And that's the thing about these scenarios. There really is no right or wrong way to answer them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even no yes. I mean, it's not a right or wrong. It's really just, if we're faced with these situations again, can we think before we're doing it? First thing we got to do, number one, is we got to be careful how, like Turiana said, moving roommates in, especially if you got a daughter, man. If you got, you got to protect your children. My ex, and I know I talk about her a lot, and she might be listening right now. I don't know. But when we got separated, and she told me that she was leaving, I didn't, I was in shock, number one. But when she started talking about, she was like, and I won't date a man. I won't have a man around your girls. I won't have a man in the house until they graduate. I didn't ask her to do that. But her thing was, I'm not going to expose my girls to another man.
That's right.
The only man they know is they
Come
knew
on now.
me, and
That's
I protected them for all those years. So if a dude come in and do something contrary, I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? So she said, let me get them straight first, and then I'll worry about me. But so many times, like somebody said earlier in the comments, we feel like well, not we, because I ain't rolling like that. But sometimes we feel like we need companionship so bad, right? Or when somebody feel like they need a man so bad, or they need a woman so bad that they're willing to sacrifice. And you bringing people around you got your children calling somebody daddy that ain't even their daddy. You don't even know if he like the kids or not. You know what I'm saying? But you already chose him to be the father of your children, but he like you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But am I saying this right, Kim?
I mean, you got a point. You got a point, James. I mean, let's just be real. Some people don't know how to be alone. But that's a whole different topic for a whole different day. But you said some people don't know how to be alone.
Yeah.
So they'll put up with or accept or deal with whatever just so they won't be alone.
Yeah. Because they want something that looks like love. They want something. Yeah, they want something
that looks like love.
So many people are in love with the idea of being in love, or the idea of being married, or the idea of being in a relationship. Because we look at the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we look at all these types of situations, and all, but you don't know what it took behind the scenes. People will show you the story, show you the glory, but won't show you the story. They'll show you the glory. Everybody can dress up and put on a white dress, and I can put on a tuxedo, and I can buy you this ring and all this kind of stuff, and we can hold hands and walk and put on a real good. But when the rubber meets the road behind closed doors, we don't even like each other. But here you are, I want to get all into a whole relationship, but then you get married. You ain't married but 6 months. Why you ain't break up beforehand? Y'all didn't like each other beforehand, but I wanted to walk down the aisle. I wanted to put on the dress. I wanted to look good. But I'm going to be honest with you. For me, the hardest part about my divorce, Kim, and moving on, to be honest with you, was the embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
I was embarrassed to get divorced, right? I was hoping before I change my status on Facebook to divorce, or she changed her last name, I was hoping I could talk her into coming back. So we can fix it before, the world found out about it, right? But you got these Negroes now, they get married for 6 months. And I ain't knocking nobody. I mean, everybody do their thing, right? But something happened along the way where values weren't discussed, right? Faith must have been challenged. We wasn't never really friends. There was something. Lady K, what is it? What happens where these, like I said, people, you did 30 plus, 28 years, 33 knowing each other. What's the difference in your scenario and you being able to grind them 28 out and folk can't grind out 2.8?
Well, to me, this is my situation. I took the time to get to know him. We dated for 5 years before we got married. Nowadays, everybody would talk against it. I ain't waiting no 5 years. Okay, that's fine. You don't have
Mhm.
to, but you're not gonna know what you need to know if you don't take some time. Now, it may not take you 5 years because it didn't
Yeah.
take 5 years to know, but this 6 months, a year, sometimes 2 years, I don't know because people are so different now than they even were back then. So you got a whole lot of other stuff you got to figure out before you say I do. And to me, another thing is we don't we and everybody says this, and I totally agree. People want the wedding, but they do not want the
Want the
marriage.
marriage. Yes, ma'am.
Period. It is work.
Wow.
It is sacrifice. You
That's
talking
good.
Yep.
about your wife. I did the exact same thing. My baby girl, my baby youngest child is a girl. Uh, a lot of people know right now I'm empty nesting. She just moved out last week. I have never had a man that was interested in me in my house since I divorced her daddy. Never, whether she was there or not. Never, never had one in my bed. So we gotta make some. I ain't gonna hear me what I'm not saying. I just
Mm-mm.
said they didn't come to my house. We gotta make some sacrifices.
Don't tell
We,
your business. Don't
as
tell
the
your business.
parents,
Don't tell your
right?
business. But I
We
get
got to
it.
make some sacrifices, and we don't want to make sacrifices because we got a life too. So
Lady
all the
K,
baby
you
get,
just said something. I ain't
and
cut.
that's some book. Okay, you got a life. If you can't work your life out around your children, you don't have a life because it's your responsibility to make the sacrifice until. And I told my daughter, I said, I will never, I won't do it. I will not bring a man here. I will not. Period. Whether he comes here or just he's interested in me, so I want him to meet you. No,
Mhm.
absolutely not. Not until you grown and married. I mean, grown and graduated from high school. And that's what I did. And she could have that confidence. Both my younger two, they were not adults when we separated or divorced. I mean, they get the same attention of mama and daddy that the older ones did. We just don't live together. So that
Wow.
means I can't, listen, I can't bring anybody else into their circle of family
Mm-hmm.
until they go. Now he did, but that wasn't what he did was him. The
Yep.
word I gave to my children was me, and I meant to. I stood by. So now, yes sir, Doc.
Yeah.
But
Yes
But
you know
Lady
what,
K,
Lady
sir.
K?
Yes
So
sir.
sometimes what you're doing is learn behavior, and I'm gonna say that because and I had this conversation with my daughter, who is 15.
Mhm.
My mother didn't bring anybody around us. I know that there's a possibility that my mother dated and went out and did whatever she wanted to do before she, became a minister. But there was nobody that my mama brought. I don't know if she had a man or not.
Right.
I never seen one.
Right.
And that was a conversation that I had with my daughter, as it relates to dating and different things like that. You won't see me doing any of those things because that's not what I want you to see. Well,
That's
if
it.
and when you decide you're gonna see somebody, I'm gonna be in a serious relationship, damn near
right.
married probably.
Exactly.
So you won't see any of that. She's had two people in her life, and that was her biological father and her stepfather. So
Wow.
other than that, you know, it was 10 years with her stepfather. So therefore, there's nobody else right now at this point in time that I want to bring in. She's gone through enough things of people leaving. So we just gonna let her live her life, and then I live mine, just like you said.
Let me
And
say
I want
something
to
for.
say, can I make a point right
Sure.
quick,
Go
Dr.
ahead.
James?
Go ahead.
I feel that a person's home ought to be their sanctuary.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. That's true.
whatever goes on in my home, the parents are saying it's okay because this is your home. So we have to be very, very careful what we allow to come through the doors of our home. When my children come in the house, your children come in your house. This is This is the area where they ought to be able to be. Let, as we would say, let your hair down. You can just be yourself. There should be no restrictions to me to anything in your home. That doesn't make sense to me. So
I
that was
get.
one reason why I was like, no, we can't. I know the decision that I'm making. I know the sacrifice I'm going to make, and that's what I did. And it feels so good to not have your children grow up and tell you, well, mama, so and so touched me in our home.
Mhm.
No, 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 no,
Let,
no,
let,
no.
let me
No.
say this right quick before we move on a little bit further, because you said something that I really honed in on. You said that the problem is that a lot of us don't want to make a sacrifice. I used to
Mhm.
always hear the colloquial expression that a sacrifice is anything that makes you say "ouch." Okay, that
Mm,
means that means that I
Mhm.
got to deprive myself of something.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
yes, you
with
do.
depriving my, so I think the problem is with, and I'm not the one to point the finger at women. I don't point the finger at men. I just people people are messed up to me. You know what I'm saying? And so we all got to heal. Black men and women, black, white, whatever, green, whatever. But at the end of the day, you said say you said um, we uh, don't want to make sacrifices, but I
Mhm.
believe instead of making sacrifices, and Kim, I want you to respond to this, and Nick, you can respond after Kim. Instead of making sacrifices, what we end up doing is we end up making concessions.
Mhm.
Mm,
We give ourselves a platform and a license to do
yes.
wrong in the name of I'm grown, I'm gonna please me. Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I and I think it goes back to just wanting to fill that void, you know, that or just to have that companionship, you
There you
know,
go.
and
There you
not
go.
think about you may be filling a void for you, but you
Mhm.
setting up your child, your daughters
Mhm.
and your sons, because
Mhm.
not just daughters, sons as well,
Mhm.
Hmm.
sacrifice,
Mhm.
right? For when you bring different people into your home,
Mhm.
up that
Yeah.
gate, you open up that door, um,
Mhm.
just for your own satisfaction. And I've known people that have turned their, turned the eye on the big major red flags
Yeah.
just to keep that man in home.
Wow.
Woo, child.
Wow. That's deep.
I do too. I agree with you, Kim.
Go ahead, Nick. What you think? Do you think people sometimes instead of making sacrifices, they make concessions?
They do,
Okay.
but they do. And the crazy thing is if that person want to be with you, or you want to be with that person, and you know you're dating a single parent, then you understand that you have to you got a plan. You have to, because any real parent, their child is gonna come first.
Should.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying, don't say that I'm not saying that person is, whoever it is not a real parent. I'm just saying I'm just saying that any real
You don't have to
parent,
get those you don't have to get those disclaimers on the stew.
yeah,
We understand, sir. We
any
got you.
any real parent, their child is gonna come first.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna make that sacrifice. You're gonna make that sacrifice for that child, for your
Yeah.
child. Point
Yeah.
point blank. Period.
But hey, but Nick, we in a different generation, bro. Yeah, these young people do it different, man. A lot of them do it different.
Oh, oh,
Younger,
oh, oh you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right
bro.
about that. I mean, 1 minute is, they it's different now.
It's
It's
different,
very
bro.
different.
It's different.
It's
It was a
very
time. Go ahead, Lady K. I see your finger up. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, does that make it right? If
no, it no no
everybody's doing it. Okay. I just was
no no no
asking to
no
see what
it doesn't make it right, but it's almost like, the way I kind of look, there's a disconnect in how this generation is versus my generation versus the generation before me.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I equate it to, I enjoyed hanging around my uncles that was older than me so I can learn from them. playing dominoes, playing cards, learning from them, learning how to be a man and what it takes to be a man.
Mhm.
But this generation, they don't, oh, you old. They look at, for example, I work at Arkansas Baptist. I'm a recruiter. I'm only 34. The kids that come in look at me like I'm old, and I'm like, I'm not too far. I'm not that much older than y'all. So it's
Uh-huh.
like, oh man, you old, you don't know what it's like now. Now I don't know I don't know what it's like now. Like, so it's that breaking communication, or that what's been passed down, the reasons certain things are the way it is now. And it's
I
not right.
it's
It's
I
not
don't
right.
know. I don't know. Go ahead, Kim.
Okay, let me ask Nick to ask on like what you said about the disconnect from the generations. I'm curious, like, where does the disconnect come from? Because my mother didn't bring, when her and my stepdad divorced, she didn't bring men around us either. And so I
Mm-hmm.
just picked that same thing up. But they're, like you said, the younger generation now, they do it. Do you think it's because, you know, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, where did the disconnect come in? I mean,
Hold on.
is it for age or
Hold on before you answer, Nick. I want to ask those in the chat a question. This is a question that I want to ask. Nick's gonna answer this question. Answer your question, Kim, and then Kim, when you answer Nick, when you answer Kim's question, Ashley, I want you to answer the question that I'm gonna ask the audience. Okay, you all in the audience, do you parent like your parents parented? That's the question. Do you parent? Is your parenting style similar, or is it the same as the way your parents parented you? All right, Nick, go ahead and answer Karen's question. Kim's question? Kimira, where did this disconnect come in? You think?
Honestly, I've been trying to figure that out myself, where the disconnect has came from. I don't know. I guess you got some people that feel like, oh, I'm not gonna raise my child the way my mama raised me because my mama was this, or my daddy was this, or my parents was this. That's like one of the only possible things that I can come up with for us to disconnect. So if I had a strict parent, I'm gonna be more lenient with my child than what my parents were with me. That, I mean, that's only what I can kind of like see for is the disconnect, because I mean it's a real bad disconnect on the way things are done now. And like I said, I see it every day.
Okay.
And it's just the way things, how certain things and traditions were passed down to us, that's not being passed down to the
Mm-hmm.
next generation.
That's
And
good. That's
and
true.
also, the old saying, and it's not saying the old saying, but the saying is now parents are getting younger, and
that's it?
That's exactly. That's it.
That's
I said it wrong. Grandparents
That's
are
it.
getting younger,
I say
and
it all the
Yeah,
parents are
time.
getting younger.
I
that's
say
So
it all the
exactly
time.
what my thought was. The grandparents,
that's
so
not grandparents.
that's what I was
so
thinking. I was saying,
as a kid, for me, if I got sick, I went on my grandma's house. I knew after, we're gonna watch The Price is Right, and after we're gonna
Hmm.
watch Young and the Restless. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna watch In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
know
In the heat
The
of the night.
news, good
I know the
times, and the
structure.
Jeffersons.
Hey, listen, we gonna watch all of that. I might get a couple, 2, 3 little cartoons in, when one of her stories go off if she don't like that one. But other than that, that's it. But nowadays you got, nowadays you got grandparents and parents. Hey, take this iPad and get out of my face. Take
Yeah.
this phone and go on. So I mean, I think that's kind of where some of the disconnects come from. And then again, this younger generation don't like to accept. I don't know if you want to say, what's the worst word I want to use? Teachings from the older
response.
generation. I'll say that they don't like to, accept the teachings or advice or different things of that nature, because they think they know it all. Or in a sense, I'll take it a step further. I don't know what I'm talking about, but they're gonna go look it up on the internet. Everything on the
Or
internet ain't true.
they friends that's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
They're
good.
gonna go with their
That's good.
peers. They look their home girl. Oh, you did this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
That's
leave your kid
And you don't even
with your so and so. Okay, It
If
ain't
it ain't
nothing.
on Love and Hip Hop, they don't want it.
But but you know what? That's why the parenting that I'm looking at the people who responded, to the question. The question I'm still asking for everybody in the chat is, do you parent like your parents parented? Jack Wilson said she did. Turiana said I did. Unfortunately, but it has taken a lot of work to make major changes and keeping my children away from toxic behaviors that other family members that believe different. Uh, uh, Carrie Bell, hey, how you doing, Sister Bell? No, I don't. Parent my children the same as my parents did with me and my siblings, and for whatever reason that may be, I get it. Brandy Brewer said, I sure don't. So, with that being said, typically, if you don't parent the way your parent parented, does it mean you didn't like the way they parented, or you think they did you rebel, or did you think they could have gotten more out of you? And I mean what I know, because I have some issues with some things, growing up. Like, I remember my stepmom used to make me eat she was one of those people who believe you should eat all of your food. Her thing was, if you got a plate, you should eat all your food, right? I mean, just whatever. We don't throw food away. But I remember a time that every time she would make boiled shrimp, I hated shrimp, right? I hated it. And every time I would eat shrimp, I would throw up, Kim. I literally would throw up every time I ate it. If we went out to eat, they put it on my plate. I ain't even ordered it. I ordered a steak. Why I got to eat this shrimp anyway, okay?
Right,
But
right.
because it's on my plate, she makes me eat it. And then I go home, throw up. Supreme pizza. I hated Supreme pizza. I didn't like onions and bell peppers and olives and all those things, because when I ate it, I threw up. Every time. But she kept making me eat it. Now, in the 11 years old, going to the sixth grade, in the sixth grade, I went and got allergy tests. My biggest allergic reaction, was to shrimp. So you sitting here making me eat because you want to be tough love or be this type of parent and all this kind of stuff. And hell, I could have died. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't think we had the EpiPens and all that kind of stuff back then. I mean, could have literally died. You know what I'm
Were
saying?
you
So
swelling up?
not at that time. No, I was just throwing up at that time. Now later on, now if I accidentally ingest some of it, I will swell up. But back then, I was just throwing up. But if I see you throw up once, twice, maybe three times a lady, I'm out of there. Maybe you don't need to eat that no more. So when it came time to my kids, like my daughter, she wouldn't hardly eat anything. We give her food, she wouldn't eat it. What if we made certain things, she didn't eat it. And then so finally, Shanika asked the doctor, "Well, she don't ever eat nothing." The doctor said she'll get what she needs. Don't worry about it. Don't force her to eat. She'll get what she needs, because she wasn't bulimic. I mean, anorexic or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So she was still growing. But I could have adopted that parenting style where I'm going to be the sergeant at arms and stand over you and make you eat this food. Or I could say, okay, you done, move on. You know what I'm saying? But Ashley, how about you? Do you parent like your parents parented?
I feel you on that.
In the beginning of my parenting, I did. As time progressed, I my mom was real strict, and that's what I was, or how I was, and I'm still there to a certain extent. But the way things are now, and I don't think that my mom was a bad parent. I turned out great, and
That's
so,
right.
We all
but
legends. We all legends in our own mind first. You know that,
yes,
right?
we are. I
Okay.
turned out
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
graduated early from high school, went on to college.
Come on, that's right.
Do your
I
thing,
didn't
girl.
I wasn't a statistic when I was in high school. My mom was great. But as things, the way that time is now, there are things that my child has had to endure and go through, in which I had to change the way that I was doing things, because these kids are dealing with a whole lot of stuff that I didn't have to deal with when I was growing up. So my parenting has changed. Now I don't do a whole lot of sleepovers and all of this stuff. My mama didn't allow me to do that, and it has heightened my senses because of all of the things that I know they didn't have anything to do with that. But yeah, my
No,
protectiveness,
that's good. No,
yeah,
that's good. That's good. That's good.
yeah,
But because you should adjust. You feel what I'm
yeah.
saying? Can you see the comment? Can you read Turiana's comment?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
They didn't know better. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the tools that we do now.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I love was how important church is in our household. Terriana, I can agree with that. My mom. I was a P. Well, I'm a PK now, but my mom was married to a minister as well, and that was one of the things that we went to church whether you wanted to or not. And that back then we had evening church as well, so we were going to that too. So I was churched out by the time I got to 19, 20, and I went to college. I wasn't coming home to go to church. That was one thing that I did stray away from, but I came back. But I definitely agree with that. Church was really important growing up. Now, I'm not saying church ain't important over here, but there have been some times where I've gone to church and my child has not. And so,
I got you. All right, Jackie Wilson said, my daddy was real strict, and I thought he was the meanest daddy around. But as I got older, I'm glad that he did, because I wouldn't be who I am today. Okay.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something that we can do. Is even with the parents that we had, we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There are some things that we can learn, even, and then we can get rid of the stuff that was bad, right? I mean, my parenting style changed as I got older. And I learned my children. I learned their behavior patterns, and I learned their idiosyncrasies. I learned what they responded to. I could yell at one, but I couldn't yell at the other one, right? If I yell at Mackenzie gonna be like, "Whoa, why are you yelling at me?" She's gonna have a meltdown. If I yell at Kennedy just gonna look at me and drop her bottom lip, and I'm gonna shut up. Trey gonna look at you like, "Dad, please be quiet. I don't want to hear none of this right now." But they wouldn't disrespect me. Go ahead, Nick. I see your hand raised. I appreciate that.
Okay, so I think nowadays, of course, you're right. Our parenting styles are going to change. You have to adapt. But I do think, like, and some may disagree, we are at some point we're raising our children to be soft. And when I say to be soft is like my uncles, my daddies, they'll roast you. They'll talk about, you know what I'm saying? They'll talk about you. They'll joke, whatever. But nowadays you can't do that.
No, it's abuse, emotional abuse.
Exactly. It's abuse. But at the same time, in a sense, you're teaching them how to be tough. In a sense,
at least deal with adversity.
Right. Oh, right.
At least deal with adversity. That's the main thing that we're talking. Yeah, we're talking about.
And nowadays, it ain't. It's not that. It's you have to police how you parent your child sometimes, depending on where you are. And that's not it. Yeah, because with my mama, where you messed up at is where you got dealt with it.
Yeah.
So if you was in the store and you got in trouble, you got in trouble. But nowadays, if you get if a child do something in the store, it's like you better wait till we get. You got to wait till we get home. Versus getting snatched up right there in the store.
Because somebody want to be in your business while you in the store.
Yeah,
or like, somebody calling or doing some.
But that's starting setting the foundation too late, though, Nick. You understand what I'm saying?
I get that because
if you tapped at it, but I'm gonna say the wrong thing. You tapped that thing right at 2-3. you tapped that thing right, boy. Hey, we was in Walmart one time, but Trey acted a fool on me. I caught all this meat right underneath on his ribs right here. And when I caught that meat and twisted it, and then lifted him up and walked him out the store, he knew he had messed up.
Right here.
Go ahead.
Right you up here acting like them mothers of the church.
Baby, you got that meat right there.
But you know what? But listen, I promise you, out of 3 children, I've probably only spanked them 5 times total in their whole life. That's counting up all 3. Ain't never had to spank them because I got it like Nick said. I have an authoritative voice, so my voice does a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? But that voice, I remember my son pledged. He pledged a fraternity. I don't say which one.
What is he?
He's an Omega man.
Okay, he cool. I fool with him.
He's an Omega man.
He ain't no nuke, but he cool. You know what I'm saying? He all right.
But he told me something one time. He said when he was pledging, he said they were questioning him because he wasn't acting like he was so bothered by. He ain't tell me much. I'm just gonna let that know. He ain't tell me nothing. But he said my daddy been pledging me my whole life. This ain't gonna bother me like that. And that's because I had been in his head mentally all these years. That's why at the baseball field, when somebody wanted to come up and try to change his swing, Nick, you ain't talking to him because number one, I pay $70 a week for that swing. All right. So you might say something that's going to be contrary to what he's teaching him. So I got to protect him until he's old enough to make a decision of what's right and wrong. Now, when he gets now at 23 now, he might have thrown everything out that I taught him the last 23 years. And that's his right. He can do that. But me as a father, as a parent, it was my responsibility to speak life, to build foundation,
That's
and to
right.
do something, mama, that y'all can't do. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't mean no harm. I love single mothers. I get it. My mama is one of them because I have a biological mama and a single mama. But you can't put that dog in him. I put that dog in my son.
Put the
And that's
dog
why
in.
he could survive through certain types of situations. You can teach him to be a respectable young man. You can teach him to be chivalrous. He can open doors. He can do all the things. You know, he can pay for the meal when they go out to eat, whatever. But to put that dog in him, to help him deal with certain type of adversity, like Nick said, it wasn't learning how to play dominoes. It was learning how to function in that environment. Am I saying something wrong, Nick? Because you learn how to function in an environment that was around men. Times have changed. I go to houses now on Christmas holidays and Thanksgiving holidays, and the husbands and wives sitting beside each other watching the football game. That didn't happen when I grew up. The men
No,
went in
sir.
one room and the women went in another room, and we were men around each other. Women were women around each other. They talked about their thing. We talked about our thing, and we got in the car and left and went home again.
I mean, that's even like now with my dad and my stepmom when we have in the summertime, if we have family gatherings, all the men are outside on the back deck, and all the women are in the house. Like that's just that's just how it is. I mean, that's what I grew up seeing, but it's not like that anymore.
No more.
It's not like that anymore because you have the inclusion and wanting to be equal, or people feeling that they're less than when it's really not. And some do that, but not all of us make that person feel less than. You do have some people that make others feel less than, but we're not all like that. It's just conversations are gonna be different when you have women or men in the room when it's
absolutely.
Like, I mean,
absolutely.
That's just a woman ain't gonna talk about what they gonna talk about and crack their jokes if a man is in the room, and vice versa. It's not gonna be like that. Nope. But nowadays everything has to be so inclusive. Everybody has to be this. There's no separation in a sense.
Is that still not learned behavior though? Because me growing up and even me now, heck, if I'm going somewhere, somebody invites me somewhere, I'm gonna always ask, are there gonna be, if it's a male that invites me somewhere, is there gonna be other women there? Because I don't want to be in a house, first of all, with a whole bunch of men. Why? That's not a good look for me, first of all, as a woman that respects herself, whether I know all the men there or not. Mm-hmm. So that's what we grew up on. First of all, you don't be up in no man's face. You don't be up in no man's lap. You don't be, these are the things that we were taught. Even now, when I go home to my aunt's houses or, we have gatherings, it's just like Nick said, it's separated. But if you weren't taught that, then you can't mimic something you don't know about.
But you're right. I don't disagree with you, but it goes back to the disconnect and the things that are not being passed down, or like you said,
there you go,
learned behavior, or it's certain things are not passed down. That's just it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where the disconnect happened or what's really going on, but some of those old traditions will really help us nowadays to stand firm. But we do away with those because it's said that, oh, that's old style, or we don't want to do that no more. We don't want to do this, or we don't want to do that, or we're not gonna do it how they did it. We gonna do it this way. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely.
And nowadays, I feel it at times.
That's it.
We're trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
We don't have to reinvent it. Yep. It's no reason to redo it.
That's it. It's called enculturation. Is exactly what it's called. Instead of going through as you say, a learned behavior, something that has been working all this time. Oral traditions, that's what oral tradition. That's what oral traditions took place in those settings. That's how we taught
because
and passed down the soul food. Think about you sitting
because a
around the
solid
house.
foundation. I'm sorry, a solid foundation gonna withstand regardless.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
a solid foundation can withstand many generations, but you gotta have that. But you gotta have that first solid foundation. Like most of the younger generation now, they don't know their great grandmothers and great grandfather. I knew mine. I knew my great grandfather. I knew my.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying. I learned from him. I seen him till he was 90 some years old when he passed away when he was blind. He was a minister. I knew him, but you have this young generation that doesn't have that family history.
Yep.
They don't have it. So again, that goes back to that disconnect and what's not being passed down through generations to help them understand. And
Absolutely.
we're missing that. And
Absolutely.
we're not even gonna talk about social media and the smoke and mirrors that you get on that. Some social media is all smoke and mirrors.
All smoking mirrors.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole we're not gonna go down, but it's just
And
it's,
Kim, how many life lessons did you get around that sink cleaning them chitlins?
Not the chitterlings.
No, Kim. Can you hear me,
Oh,
Kim? I'm sorry,
oh,
Kim.
yeah.
Kim said you just so shady. She said you make me say. But my point is that how many life lessons were given in the kitchen while
Mhm.
there was sisters and the whole house, women in there cooking and getting ready for for the feast for the day and all that kind of stuff, and the things that you all would talk about that were just female conversations. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
those are
Mhm.
things that, and those things don't happen anymore. I mean, things that, because something we just want to change. We don't, and that foundation was, if the foundation worked for us, why we want to change? Why do we feel a need to change it? Listen, I'm gonna have to start winding this conversation down because it's 10:55. We've been on for an hour and 55 minutes. One day I'm gonna get this show down to an hour and a half at the most. I promise you I am. I could have done it tonight, but I was enjoying the conversation. I really was, and I appreciate Nick. I appreciate Ashley always for her sacrifice. She got a
Yes,
Ashley
sir.
drives three.
Not a problem.
Ashley drives, huh?
You appreciate it. I said not a problem. I'm
Oh
sorry
yeah.
I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. And Ashley, we appreciate you. Like I said, we know you drive 3 hours round trip every day to get back and forth. And soon as she knew she was late, she called me and said, "Hey, text me and said, hey, listen, this is going on, and this is what's going to happen." And I appreciate that. Lady K, she gets off of her show and jumps right on this show, so that's basically a 3 hour stretch. And she comes and she adds flavor. She serves stew.
I
We
love
serve.
her.
She adds flavor to it,
Oh,
and it's wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So I love what we're becoming. I love what we're becoming. We're gonna do something different next week. Monday Night Live crew won't be on with me Tuesday, because I have a special guest that I'm gonna have, and she and I are going to meet. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all. I'm bringing Sean Dennis Strickland on that next week. She's gonna come on,
Yay!
and we're gonna have a conversation next week. She and I, and I'm looking forward to that. So Monday I might call y'all. I might. If not, I'll see y'all the following week. But I'm excited about what we're doing. I really appreciate Turiana and Valencia and Jackie Jones and all of you all who participated tonight, because y'all add substance to the conversation, and
Yes,
that means a
yes.
lot. That means a lot to me. We could take, like I said, what I say. Somebody called me the other day. They said we can go from deep to trashy on the conversation, but even
Mhm.
trashy, even trashy is gonna bring out some nuggets. Even
Mhm.
it's gonna be something that portable and practical. That we can possibly apply to our lives. So do me a favor, ride with me. Keep on checking us out. I'm gonna show y'all my new hoodie next week. I got a new hoodie. Design that
The
that
one
I
you had
want.
on today,
Yeah, you like that one? You like
it's
that one? That was hot.
fine.
Yeah, that
Ooh.
one's hot. I like that one. So I'm gonna drop
Mhm.
my new hot. I'm gonna drop my new hoodie design. If y'all need any merchandise on the Path to Better shirts or whatever, I'll make all that stuff available to you guys. I really do appreciate you all. Like I said, we're gonna continue to have these conversations. My inbox is always open. If you all ever need to talk, if you ever need to get some stuff off your chest, if you ever need some advice, or you want to give me some advice, you have some show ideas or whatever, I'm open. I mean, this is not just for me. This is for us. Nick's in his 30s. Lady K, she's already told us her age. I ain't gonna say it. Kim and I are in our mid 40s. So we hit it from a couple of different, three generations for the most part. So we can we can grow together. And we can offer different perspectives. Um, That story, it's unfortunate for the little girl. It's unfortunate for the mother. Preferably they'll get some therapy, and preferably they'll be able to work that whole situation out. But we got to look at it. We got to look at it. Jackie says she's 60, so she's giving us her perspective as well. Thank you, Miss Jackie. I really, really appreciate you for all that you do. Now, you all see the Cash App there on the screen. You can show your support at the Intellectual Stew. $ the Intellectual Stew. If you want to be a blessing to our platform, we appreciate it. If you want to partner with this program, we're going to set up some partner. Ashley and I got to get together. We're going to come up with some partnership ideas for y'all. Lady K and I, it's a secret, and she told me not to tell nobody, so I ain't going to say it, but we working on something in the future as well. So y'all stay
finna
with
go
me,
out the
man.
friend zone to the end zone.
Ah, what?
I'm sorry, I just had to throw that.
Don't say nothing, James. Don't say nothing.
No, I'm going to say something. I got to say something. I rebuke that spirit in the name of Jesus. I rebuke that spirit in Jesus' holy name. But no, I did good. I ain't throw too much shade tonight. I didn't fuss at
You
nobody
did.
tonight.
I'm so proud.
Yeah, I did better tonight. So I'm proud of me. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of me. Shantae, I love you. I appreciate you, sweetheart. She's here every week, y'all. We got to get Shantae to make us something for real. For real. Hey, Shantae. Hey, let's get Shantae, Ashley, to design us a Monday Night Live t-shirt.
Okay.
Shantae, how about that? Can you do that for us? Can you come up with a Monday Night Live t-shirt for us? Will you do that? Will you inbox me or whatever, and let's come up with it? Ashley, I'm gonna let you handle that. Will you handle that for me, Ashley? I'm gonna delegate that authority. I'm not gonna do that one. I want you, Shantae, you come up with a design. You come up with a design for a Monday Night Live t-shirt that incorporate the Intellectual Stew, and we'll make that shirt available. We'll make that shirt available. You're gonna sell at least 6 of them right up front, because I'm gonna buy those, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So let's get that Monday Night Live t-shirt going, and y'all my family, man. I enjoy talking to y'all every Monday and Tuesday night. Now tomorrow, if you have any questions about insurance, Kim, I take care of your family, right? I'll take care of all of Kim's family and her insurance needs. If you have any questions about insurance, take your lunch break with me about 1:30. Is it 1:30? Yeah, 1:30. We're gonna talk about how to apply life insurance to your life. You know, life insurance does not only go ahead.
1:30, because it's a time difference with.
I was just about to ask that.
1:30 for me. 1:30 p.m. for me. So it's 12:30 for y'all.
12:30.
Yeah. So come and now listen. Insurance don't have to only pay you when you die. It doesn't. We got new kinds of insurance now. It doesn't only pay you when you die. So kill that myth, okay? So we'll answer a lot of those questions tomorrow. But it's been real. We've had a good conversation tonight. We're gonna do it again, man, and we're gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna grow together. Y'all gonna grow with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You are growing.
Are we growing? I believe so. These inboxes I get telling me how people are being helped, that means the world to me. So we're gonna keep doing it. And I ask this question usually every night about this time. Every Tuesday night about this time, I'll ask this question. I'm gonna ask it to y'all. The world is changing. My question is, why do you remain the same? Good night. We'll talk to y'all.
Not. Bye.